Wir haben Besuch aus Schottland. Es wartet der UK Open Champion von 2012. Er hat den World Grand Prix 2015 gewonnen. Ehemaliger Top 10 Spieler, aktuell die Nummer 30 der Welt. Die Rede ist von The Thorn, Robert Thornton. Robert Thornton tritt an gegen eine ehemalige Nummer 1 der BDO. 2015 kam er zur PDC, ist inzwischen die 31 der Weltrangliste. Herzlich willkommen, the Lethal Biscuit, J.Wilson.
Halfway through the afternoon session that has so far seen 3/4 of the seeded players go out at the first hurdle. Only Gerwyn Price, who's hobbling around like James Caan in misery, has managed to make it through to the final day of action at the European Darts Match Play. Johnny Clayton, Simon Whitlock and the King, Mervyn King, have all fallen by the wayside. We will see if J.Wilson can actually make it through. He shouldn't really be one of the seeds. He's only been bumped up to the final seeded place because of the late withdrawal of Peter Snakebite Wright, the very first European tour we've had without Snakebite involved, bringing an end to his ever-present run. He was the only player who'd competed in every single one of them. Well, that run has come to an end now. It's going to be a little while before we see him back on the European tour, because it doesn't return until late August, September, and he's not playing that one either because he's on holiday. But he has done all right. He's going to be at the European Championship and one of the top seeds. Don't worry about that, Snakebite fans. And you'll see plenty of him on the World Series, which is why he's taken this little break. But we do get to see the Lethal Biscuit versus the Thorn, a former BDO number. And a lot of travelling as well. The guys who played midweek in Barnsley, and I know, look, the seeded players and the unseeded players have had the same. In fact, the unseeded players have had to get here a day earlier to play, but it can be a factor, fatigue. I'm sure you'll have felt when we've had hectic bits of the schedule, like even now, you're playing now, you're not playing this weekend, but there's been a lot of travelling back and forth. There's been a lot of staying in hotels and being away from home, and being able to produce your best when you're constantly doing that is not easy.
Very difficult indeed. When you're at home, it's almost a novelty. And after this tournament, a lot of guys are going to have a big break. They see this as the final sprint. But J.Wilson, he will definitely be going to the World Match Play. That is assured. Robert Thornton is not. And I believe there isn't a way that he can get there.
No, there isn't, although to be fair, with the Thorn, it's never really been a happy hunting ground.
No, unless he plays Josh Payne.
Yes, the only win he's ever got.
93.
Robert doesn't really care about that right now. He just wants to beat J.Wilson. He has been playing a little bit better the last few weeks, Robert. didn't play particularly well in Denmark last week, but during the week it was better, and he does seem a bit more sprightly, and I think that's more to do with the fact that his wife's on the mend.
Yeah, and that is great news. It's not great news for James Wilson that he's hit the 11 and he only gets a dart at bull.
49.
And he's missed it, and we'll come back to that. 20 for his favourite. Double top.
Game shot the first leg.
You wonder why it's his favourite, and I think he's the best top shooter I've ever seen. I've practiced with Robert a lot in the last 10 years. I was actually reminiscing with him at breakfast yesterday morning. I said,
140.
I said, next month, it's going to be 10 years since we met. And he just had a big smile on his face. We've spent so much time together, gone through a lot together in the last 10 years, and
36.
it's great to see him playing well and smiling. I hope there's more ahead in his career. I hope he's not going to wither into the midst of the retired players, because I think he's still got a lot to offer.
Well, look, I've said this many times, in my opinion, he's an all-time great. You look at his CV, what he's won, the way he's won it, the players he's beaten to win 3 major titles, beating the best player in the world at that time along the way. And there aren't many people who ever do that. And he has had longevity. He's battled back from serious illness himself.
140.
And yes, his wife Chrissy has been ill lately and had a number of operations, and we are delighted to hear she's on the mend. And hopefully that coincides with Robert getting back to focusing on darts and playing his best, although it's fair to say this leg would not rank anywhere near the top million in the best legs Robert Thornton has ever played.
He'll go for this. Watch.
Yeah.
Did he?
No, he did. But that little bit of a tongue wag gives you his opinion about it. Robert has written this leg off.
James, you require 35.
Now, is James a 3 and double 16 kind of guy? Yeah. Right shot as Robert just does the coat hanger dancing behind him, as if to say it's quite hot in here.
Game on.
Yeah,
It's a bit hotter than Scotland.
taps off weather. Hopefully not. Although with the Thorn,
42.
who goes for a rakish Ted Hankey style open shirt, I mean, you're never that far away from taps off. James Wilson, he's still searching for a first PDC title, but he keeps putting himself in the frame. The last time he made a final was back end of last year.
140.
And just before that, he'd made a semi-final. He goes through these patches of form where he keeps on making the last stages of tournaments. He's not quite got over the line yet. The semi-final and final in quick succession last year also involved his only meeting with Robert Thornton when he beat him on the way to the semi-final. That was just before the Grand Prix in Ireland. The Grand Prix was the last time Robert Thornton made the quarter-finals of anything. Whereas James Wilson has since made a bunch of quarter-finals and a semi-final this year already. The main stumbling block for whoever comes through this is a potential meeting in the next round with Michael van Gerwen, the world #1.
Well, Ryan Joyce has already written off his chances, because in his interview last night, Elmar Polka said to him, "How do you feel about your game with Michael next?" And he said, "I'm going to get beat 6-0.
Yeah, he did. Well, I mean, it's one way to sort of lessen the pressure on yourself, isn't it?
I don't think Ryan Joyce lives with any pressure. Oh, and here he be handy.
140. Robbie, you require
Might not get a
80.
shot. It will be tops if he gets to 20. You can see half of the right, half of the left.
60.
And he hits the middle.
James, you require 108.
One treble needed for the lethal biscuit.
Can still get it with a bullseye.
63.
And that would have stung Thornton a bit after he hit that one with the first dart. Double 10. Whoop. He just did the angelic celebration, but it wasn't in. That's it.
James on the third leg. Robert Thornton. Fourth leg, James.
Robert Thornton does have history of doing that. Was it the Grand Prix where he nearly fell off the stage? I can't remember where he tripped up and nearly went off the stage when he was playing somebody.
He was playing in the Premier League.
Oh, it was the Premier League.
Yeah, he trod on the bit of hockey that you walk off on the right-hand side of the hockey as you look at it, and he just trapped the back of his foot in it and rolled his ankle.
Yeah, and he's hobbling around, wasn't he?
He lost it completely, and it was a good job he got his composure pretty quickly, because he could have fallen off the stage.
Yeah. Well, we have seen people fall off the stage of the European Tour before. It was a fan doing one of the walk-ons. See, that could be you. Or you, anywhere out there, if you get called up for a walk-on with Elmar. If you're not careful.
Yeah, don't do head-banging on stage and get dizzy.
That was the downfall for that particular gentleman. Mention about getting done to nil by Michael van Gerwen, as Ryan Joyce has rather unconfidently predicted might happen tonight. I'm not so sure, you know. Michael van Gerwen was not very good last weekend at the Danish Darts Open.
Is he still in holiday mode? He's been on social media. He's been on a boat all week, isn't he?
I haven't seen that.
He's been boating.
Boating? Oh, pip.
140.
Well, James Wilson got done to nil at the World Championship by Michael van Gerwen. He was absolutely obliterated. I thought that the winner of James Wilson and Christoph Ratajski in the first round might have a real chance of pulling off a massive shock and beating MVG, because I just felt that James Wilson hit so many 180s and he is a very, very... I think he can do anything, James Wilson. He's that good. But he can't hit double 16, double 8.
There's a worried look on his face there when he missed that double, because he might rue that miss. He might right now.
72.
Only just missed Thornton, and that was a great chance. It was 12-0, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. He didn't win a single leg because Michael van Gerwen averaged almost 110 over 12 legs.
Double 4 for what we called yesterday the Super Biscuit. Double 2 and a massive miss gives Thornton 3 darts at double 16, and he can't wait to get to the hockey and hit this. He's going to need an adjustment if he will.
Left and right and right and left.
24.
Right. Yeah. Bit like that.
To acquire 4.
It's a gift for the biscuit if he can pin it.
Well, none of them were close.
And we're getting further and further away.
2 force for Thornton, and that is a slip. That has to be a slip. Robert Thornton has never missed a double by that much in his career. So that has to be a sweaty dart that just came out left. Double 1 is there from the Lethal Biscuit, and I don't know why he's apologising. He was the one who had the first shot of this leg.
Well, a horrendous end to that leg from both players, to be honest.
60.
It was a bit like this in the Rene Idem's game that Robert Thornton had in the first round, where they both just pootled along at high 70s averages. He ended with an 80 average, Robert Thornton.
60.
Just a shadow of the all-time great that he is. But look, he's given him, he won the game, won it 6-4. He's got opportunity to improve, but legs like that, they're already going to scuttle the averages.
The thing is that I know a lot about Robert's career, and in the past he has won a European Tour event before in Dusseldorf.
140.
So the heat for me is not a factor, because he won in Dusseldorf, which was arguably the hottest venue we've ever played in.
It was, I mean, it was always packed. The Maritime Hotel, it was an incredible venue. All the players loved it, the staff, everybody did, but it just became too small to handle the Euro Tour crowds. But he was incredible that weekend.
It was like a cauldron, wasn't it?
It was. And it was, he had a balcony. Everybody was crammed around. It was a wide venue, but not that deep. And Robert Thornton has produced the first 180 of this one. I'm surprised it's taken us 5 legs. But yeah, he was unreal that weekend. Destroyed James Wade in the semi-final with 111 average.
Treble 14 perhaps. That is a beautiful setup from the man known as Chocolate. Well, we never get a 141 off the back of two 180s. We're not going to get one now.
105.
Based on nicknames, we've got a chocolate biscuit match.
There we have.
And we've got a level game turned into a lead for Thornton. He's 3-2 ahead, and it's been a little strange so far, to say the least.
Well, Robert Thornton benefited from Rene Idams missing 20 darts at double in his first round game. James Wilson has already third. And I really didn't think that would be enough in this match. Well, there you see. I mean, Robert Thornton is being made to look clinical by James Wilson.
There's got to be a 180 surely.
180!
It's almost easier to hit that than miss it.
Well, it's something that he wasn't doing against Idams either. He didn't hit a single maximum in his game against the German.
Maybe the standard's just lifting in the middle of this match, and Thornton's found his range now. Another one.
140.
That'll
James,
do.
you require 170.
Earlier in the match, he had a 161 and went for the bull when Robert was not on a finish. We can't take this one.
98. Robbie, you require 100.
Give him a B+ for that shot. Tops for Thornton. He went for the 60. He liked the lie. I think he was right to do so, but he pulled it left. And Wilson should get at least one shot at a double to go 3-3.
James, you require 72.
What route is it for the biscuit here?
60 for double six.
You're right.
Yeah, and he's executed it as well.
James Wilson, sounds like Robert in both thirds.
So many different ways you can get 72 these days. Dave Pallett would probably go double 18, double 18.
55.
60 for double six, treble 12 for double 18, treble 16 for double 12. Sulevic should go double 17, double 14.
Yeah, I mean, never rule it out with Mensur.
Good scoring from Thornton. In the last couple of legs, he's lifted that a little bit.
That's perfect for the biscuit. Surely this time.
140.
Yeah, you can see, he can't understand. He is one of the most frequent 180 hitters on the tour, James Wilson. Even though he gets a lot of bounce outs. We haven't seen any of those actually in this game so far. But it's kind of odd that we haven't seen him fire in a maximum yet. He's had 8 ton 40+ scores.
93.
He does have a few rhythms, doesn't he, James Wilson? He goes through patches of playing deliberate, and today he's aiming the first dart and then following through without an aim on darts 2 and 3, unless he has to switch somewhere.
100. James, you require 148.
Sometimes I feel that that may be his only weakness, not having one solid rhythm that he counts on. 74, which leaves 74, and that leaves double 10.
Robbie, you require 160.
Well, a huge chance now for the first break of foe in this game. Is this the moment that the seeded player
92.
just grabs a hold of this
James, you require
contest?
20.
I do have to emphasise as well that if James Wilson does not win this match, he doesn't get any ranking points. He's got a lead now. He's 4-3 in front. Denying Robert Thornton a shot at that 68.
Game on.
And by qualifying for this event, James Wilson, he thought, well, worst case scenario, I got 1,000 ranking points.
Yeah.
Then he gets a phone call and the PDC take that away from him.
140.
And then in another hand, they give him another £1,000. It's a strange old situation sometimes to be put in.
Because even when they brought in this rule at the start of last year, saying that if seeded players, if they lose their first game, don't get the money on their ranking. They get the money, but they don't get it on their ranking. They said, well, if you're a seeded player and you want to guarantee ranking, you can go through the qualifiers if you want. You give up your seeding, go through the qualifiers. It's your choice. Well, James Wilson's had to do both, basically. And finally, the biscuit drought of 180s is ended.
Remember when Johnny Clayton was bumped up? What did he do with the little gift of being given the seed?
He
won the tournament.
Went on and won it, but it was a weekend where there was no Michael van Gerwen. It does not lessen the achievement of Johnny Clayton, because still went through and beat everybody, including Mensur Suljovic in Austria, with a very partisan crowd in the semi-finals, a longer format as well.
Not going to go 12, is he?
What are you doing, Biscuit? Now you look at the score. You don't need to, but then again, that's not stopped you before.
Or you could just leave 50.
Well, look, James can see the funny side of it as well.
140.
Oh,
should have gone for the ball, James.
Marvellous. Now then, want to go for the ball.
Single 18. There it is.
There it is, yeah, there we go.
5-3, James Wilson, if he gets this double 16.
18.
Doesn't. And Robert Thornton has got a great chance here.
Is one moment of absolute madness going to cost him. It has cost him. It's cost him the leg. It's cost him a break, and it could yet cost him the match. And he was seeing the funny side of it a minute ago, James Wilson, but he ain't laughing right now.
Game on.
We've had a couple of flyer darts in this match, haven't we? One that missed the board completely, going for a single 18, and Robert Thornton going for a double 4. And he was closer to the single 1.
Yeah, well, the thing is, James Wilson, yeah, if that was a flyer and it just came out the hand wrong, then okay, you can forgive that. Everybody gets it. Thornton's had one there. Rob Cross used to get them all the time. But
yeah, he seems to have eliminated that now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I think he's having 3 darts all the same weight probably helps. But the thing is, he shouldn't have been going for that anyway. He shouldn't have gone for the 12 in the first place.
I totally agree with you.
I mean, he could have ended, if he did the treble 12, it would have left him double 13. And he might have ended up wasting darts at double, as it was. He wasn't aware of where Thornton was. And it's a mistake that then turned into a hilarious mistake and then turned into quite a serious mistake.
What do we call it? It's board management or match management?
Oh, even awareness, just awareness of where your opponent is and what shots you should be going for. As a player, and I know you're a player who likes to take a little bit of time before you approach the oche. In that time, you want to be deciding everything you want to do in that visit, don't you? The various eventualities. I'm going to split this if this happens. I'm going to go straight for this. I'm going to try and leave the ball and go for it, or I'm going to lay up. You don't want any doubt in your mind.
No, not at all. I'm not the kind of player to look at my opponent and what he's doing, but I do look at their score now and again. I want to know where I stand, and, well, Thornton stands on tops for the lead.
74. James, you require 146.
Well, this would be quite some way to redeem yourself.
Things have changed dramatically in the last 2 minutes. That one miss was the turning point. And it has resulted in Thornton being one away from getting the victory over the seeded player and taking himself to the Sunday here in Hamburg.
Robert Thornton is doing some... Oh, my word. Well, another spectacular bounce out to add to the James Wilson collection. Cartwheeling back out of the ball.
Well, that one had a triple pike somersault on it.
It did. 5.2 for difficulty. But Robert Thornton must have been performing some Scottish voodoo this weekend, because Idams missed 20 darts at double. Wilson has missed 14 darts at double, but that one silly mistake of not being aware of where his opponent was and then completely fluffing the setup shot may well have given Thornton an opportunity to claim a victory that otherwise he would have been denied.
140.
He has upped his game, Robert Thornton. I mean, he's dragged his average up a good 8 points over the last few legs, but then so is Wilson.
57.
That 140 he hit last time round, Robert Thornton, was perfectly timed. It got him back in touch in this leg. He's found his range. That was a lurch on that one.
100.
When you have a dart like that, it's almost like you're in motion, you know it's going to be short. He's got the advantage, but James Wilson has taken care of that.
108.
More like it from James Wilson, the Huddersfield man, down to a 2-dart checkout. Thornton should get to something he can make.
83.
Oh, that's a really frustrating last dart.
Yeah, that sucks, that dart, because he should have been well below 130, but now it will be 14 bull. Bullseye for 5-5.
59.
It's the closest he's got to the bullseye in this game, but it still wasn't that close. Oof, treble 18 would have left tops.
In that situation, he could have been sitting on 117.
Yeah, one treble, and he gets a dart at his favourite double top. But it didn't, but Wilson's been missing doubles. And he's missed a big number again.
Double 4 to save it.
21.
Problems all of his own making, James Wilson.
He's going bull. He's got the 1. Treble 18 for double. He's got double 15.
61.
Madman. What decisions are these guys? Are they making them with dice?
Well, this is definitely double 2. Surely to the left. There it is. Really good shot. You look at those 2 darts, they're exactly the same height-wise. That's why you go left, not right.
Well, last leg decider. Robert Thornton, only averaging in the 80s. And kicks off with a 3rd maximum.
Still reeling from the treble 20 double 15 shot. I didn't expect him to do that. He nearly paid off.
100.
Oh dear.
4 trebles to start the leg, but one of them he doesn't want.
43.
180-43. As a great man would have it, cut it in half.
That one flew out of his hand, James Wilson.
44.
And he raced through that last dart as well because he's frustrated. And he'll still be annoyed with his mistake from way back in leg 8. And this will compound his misery.
140.
Down to a finish after 9. Not many times Robert Thornton has been in that position, and yet he's managed to do it in a last leg decider. What a competitor. What a fighter.
James Wilson looks like a beaten man. Just in that treble 1 again. Good recovery. 63 leaves 75. And that leaves
Вирусная угроза была обнаружена.
necessarily want to leave in this situation is probably double 3.
It is in his eye line.
96. Robbie requires 6.
That's the exact opposite to his favourite. It's on the same line.
Well, let's see. Nowhere near.
Hiya, Bruce. Yeah, he hits the hot spot, Thornton. He's done it. Probably a game they want to forget, but Thornton's got it.
Robert Thornton, a former winner on the European Tour, is through to the final day of a Euro Tour for the first time since September 2016. He is 1 match away from a first quarter final since September last year. And this European Darts Matchplay has now seen 4 of the 5 seeded players who've taken to the stage knocked out. James Wilson qualified for this, and he'll get no ranking money. Here is the Thorn coming up. Cullen v Schindler 2.
Congratulations. Yesterday just said step by step. 3rd round. Welcome.
Step by step, but that wasn't a great game. It's very warm up here, and people don't realise when you're standing up here, the shirt sticks to you, so you've got to try. It's mad, but James never played the way he usually plays. We've all seen James play. Europeans on the floor. He's absolutely awesome, and he never played the way he can play.
But the last leg, you played pretty well.
Yeah, it comes in snatches. It's shocking. I want it all in one go. So, but I'm happy enough to win.
Michael van Gerwen could be the next one. You should show him this video from the World Grand Prix final, you know.
Yeah, but this isn't double start, is it? It's not a double, will be fine.
That's good. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Robert Thornton. Trifft dann morgen im Achtelfinale womöglich auf den topgesetzten Michael